Okay, welcome everybody. My name's Jen, and I am here for more hot topics in healthcare hot topics. Coming to you here from Texas, where it's still extremely hot, like triple digits. And I know I've been a little MIA this week from posting and how to switch up the nights. I'd been away for a computer training for work. We're getting a new computer system, and so I'm one of the super users with some of the other nurses. And so it was really great to be able to be with other nurses and connect with them, especially ones that are in my same specialty, us all having like the same questions, us working through everything together, and just getting to see a lot of those nurses in person, which due to our clinic locations, a lot of times we don't get to see them in person. We're on Zoom calls together weekly or reach out for help, but seeing each other in person because they're all around different places around DFW, from like Weatherford to Denton, down to like Hearst, those areas. So we learned a lot, and so that was really great. So some of you may be new here and be wondering, what the heck, what the heck am I talking about? Who am I? And I am Jen, and I have more than 20 years experience in nursing. So I've decided to do weekly lives here on this platform to encourage nurses to show support, teach them how to advocate for themselves, also give tips of things I wish I knew when I was starting out in healthcare and nursing, things I wanted to know, wish I knew graduating from nursing school, how to navigate some difficult conversations, especially when somebody might be giving you feedback that you might not like, but it might be true. So a couple of topics I'm going to talk about tonight is, I know a lot of nurses get certifications, and that is great. There are certain certifications after you've been a nurse for so many years, and then also have so many years experience in a particular specialty, you can get a certification. You have to have also so many continuing education areas in that specialty. And it's good to get a certification if that's what you want to do, if your employer's paying for it. That is one thing. Many employers may reimburse you after you take the test. These certifications, you do have to take a test. A lot of these certifications, I believe one was like, I think it was like 150 credit hours in one in your specialty. I know for behavioral health, psychiatric nursing, that's what it was. It could have changed. And they also want you to be involved in an association. And many times an employer may pay for that. They may not. It is good to get involved in an association such as like the American Nurses Association. I belong to an association that is for nurses in business and entrepreneurship, which I really like that that group right there. I've learned a lot from them, from that particular association. So just make sure whatever association that you belong to, you want to look at one, the cost. A lot of these associations, there is an annual cost to join. Many times it may be a lower cost if you're a student, or say you're going in nursing and going back for your bachelor's or master's degree. So that is one option. I've seen it discounted. Also, if you're a student, many times it's discounted. Like I said, check with your employer. A lot of times they will reimburse for the association fees. Also, with the certification fees of the exam for these certifications, they might also pay for that. So check into that. Check into, for whatever certification you're looking to get, check and see what all the requirements are. Because I won't want you to not do all this work and then not be able to sit for a certification just because you missed one little thing. Now, sometimes it could be the number of years you've worked in the field. Sometimes they do it by the number of hours. Not that you have been a nurse, but the number of hours that you've worked in that particular field or specialty. I know for the psychiatric one, you had to been a nurse for a certain number of years, but then also worked in that specialty also for a certain number of years consecutively. So if you had been working in psychiatric nursing and then went to do ICU nursing, or I'm going to say dialysis, and then went back, they look at the actual number of hours that you spent in that particular specialty. And there is actually all types of certifications. And you guys might hear a dog barking in the background. That is Jack. He is our neighbor's pit bull, and Sky are the dog's names over there. They're really cute. They just have puppies, cutest little puppies. So that's who's barking over there. And I'm pretty sure like Bruce is gonna go give them bones, because that's what he does. The dogs don't like anybody in the neighborhood except for Bruce, so it's very funny. He goes and gives them bones. Every time we go to the store, he buys bones for them. So we joke that we get visitation rights to their dogs. And our neighbors even brought us over ribs tonight for dinner, so we have really amazing neighbors. So back to the certifications. That it can be really good to get a certification. However, I just want to say that does not determine your worth. Having a bunch of credentials behind your name does not make you any more valuable. Sometimes with getting certifications, you get a lot more responsibility. Sometimes you don't get an increase in pay. Sometimes you do. So that is one thing you also want to look at. Is the return on investment worth it? Because some employers will pay for it. Some may pay for the annual upkeep of the certification, because once you get the certification, you still have to maintain it and keep up your CEUs in that particular area. In addition, with other CEUs that you may need. So you want to really look at what the cost is. What is the cost of the exam? What is the cost to yearly to keep it up? What is the cost of the CEUs? Because you'll have it, usually it's like an annual membership. Sometimes it's you pay every 2 years depending on the association. So that is one thing you really want to look at the cost. Some places I've seen people that get these certifications make, 25 to 50 cents more an hour. Now over time that does add up. However, sometimes you're looking at that like, okay, I'm getting this certification and I'm going to have these credentials behind my name, but I'm just getting more responsibility added onto me. So I completely understand. So I'm just going to talk about different options. You don't have to get the certification. Some jobs will say preferred, that they prefer you to have a certain certification in a particular area. For nurses, the main ones that are required is you keep up your nursing license, you keep up your CEUs for that, you keep up your, CPR. Some will have the advanced life support CPR classes. Others will have like the pediatric ones, and a part of their job is keeping that current and up to date. Now, for some managers in nursing, it is a requirement that they have those certifications and they have to keep them up to date. So that's another thing you want to do. If with any type of certification, it is, especially your nursing license, make sure you are keeping up on this continuing education hours. You don't want your nursing license to expire. And it's also a lot more cost effective to get it renewed as soon as possible. I know in Ohio, they do it every 2 years for the RNs, then it's the LPNs, and it's every 2 years. However, in Texas, it's on your birthday, or like it's your birthday month. And so that was something last year when I had to renew it for the first time. I was like, this is odd, because I was so used to my Ohio nursing license of doing it every 2 years. So I had to pay special attention to that because I did not want to, lapse on my Texas nursing license since I live here in Texas. So make sure that you are keeping all your licenses up to date because it is your responsibility. It's also a big financial issue also because you could actually lose your license if you are practicing without a license. So if you go into work as a nurse and your nursing license is expired and you are giving nursing care, you might be going before the Board of Nursing. You could actually lose your nursing license because then you're practicing without a license because your license has expired. And I won't want that to happen to y'all because I know how long and hard you worked to go through nursing school and study for that board exam. And it's also your responsibility and not your employer's responsibility to know when your licenses are expired. They're just going to take you off the schedule. Basically, your CPR is expired, and if that is a part of your requirement to work there, such as, NICU nurses needing sometimes the Sit Stable certification or needing the PAL certification. If that's expired and then they're working with it being expired and knowingly being expired, that could cost somebody their nursing license. And like I said, we don't want that to happen to you. However, getting more certifications, sometimes it's good. It's not always necessary. I know plenty of my friends in nursing, some are LVNs, LPNs, depending what state you're in. Some are associate's degree RN, some are like myself that have our bachelor's degree in nursing. And I have friends that have master's degrees. I have friends that are nurse practitioners. I have friends have got their master's in nursing education, PhD in nursing education, nursing philosophy, nurse practitioners with PhDs, all the great things. Some running their own businesses. However, like myself, several years ago, I did get a scholarship to work on my master's degree. However, for me personally, it was not worth the stress. It was not worth my time and energy, because what I would make over a long period of time, it wasn't worth it. It was not worth it to me. I looked at the cost. I looked at my return of investment of where my time and energy would be going. And for myself, that extra, 25 cents, 50 cents an hour, honestly, wasn't worth it for me. It wasn't worth the stress. It wasn't worth my health. It just literally wasn't worth it. Now, does that make me a bad nurse? No. I have friends who have worked in wound care, and they decided not to get their certification in wound care because they didn't want to get boxed into a certain specialty. And I completely understand that too, because more credentials behind your name does not add more value or worth to who you really are. I mean, strip all the titles away, and who are you at your core? When all is taken away, titles, it's who you are as a person. It's your character. It's your core beliefs. It's your worthiness, which you're worthy no matter what. So more credentials just don't automatically make somebody more worthy. They don't make somebody more valuable, because your worth is not determined by, your bank account, the scale, your productivity, because a lot of times the more credentials you get behind the name, honestly, especially in nursing, the more responsibility you get without getting pay, without getting that promotion. So this is where you've got to really look inside and really figure out for yourself, what is it that you want, and is it worth it? Is it worth the time to study for this? Is it worth the time to go back to school to get your master's degree in nursing, or get your, doctorate in nursing education, nursing philosophy, or becoming a nurse practitioner? All those are great and noble things. However, if you still don't want to do that and want to leave, just completely leave bedside nursing, leave the nursing profession as a whole, I see you. I completely understand. That does not determine your worth. Your title does not determine your worth, your worthiness, your value. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they had been laid off for a while, and they're not nursing, and they've been applying for jobs, and I was trying to be supportive, and they're like, my savings account is going down, all the things. And I was like, yeah. And then they were, feeling that they weren't bringing value because they weren't, to their family, weren't able to financially contribute because their unemployment has run out, their savings is low, so their partner is helping them, with the bills, all the things. And, explaining to this person that people have more than a financial value. Your value is not all the financial value you bring, not what you make per hour, not your productivity, not your titles, not what you own. And especially in our society, it's very, when we introduce people, it's like, what do you do, instead of who you are. So I understand where that person's coming from, thinking their value is only financial. However, it's not. So I just want you all to really know your worth, know your value, and really see what it is that you want for your nursing career, what it is that you want out of it, and really look at what type of nursing you want to do. There are so many different things in nursing to do, from working remote, case management, utilization review, clinical informatics, just so many different opportunities that are still nursing, but not at the bedside. And I have nurses that are at the bedside still love it, and they're amazing nurses and managers, and I get to support them every day when I'm at work and help them, and especially some of the ones that have gotten promoted to different areas, and being a source of support, just being like, hey, you got this. Just little kind messages that can go so far just to make their day. And so just really think about, for anybody you work with, not just the nurses, not just the healthcare providers, your techs, everybody that works to make a hospital or facility great, such as, the janitors, EVS staff, transporters, people that work in all the ancillary departments, those working in dietary, just really be kind to them, because they're all going through a lot right now with how broken our healthcare system is. And the majority of people that work in healthcare have really, really big hearts. And I know sometimes that gets taken advantage of a little too much. And so I do help people learn to advocate for themselves in nursing and healthcare, and also teach them how to navigate the healthcare system, since I have a little bit of experience being a nurse for as long as I have. And also, a couple of announcements. I am working on some things behind the scenes. One is a coloring book for nurses. It's ready to be uploaded, so I have a friend helping me with that. Also, working on a podcast that is actually going to be available later this week. So I am super excited for that, and we will be putting the links below. And I just want to wish you all a good evening, and make sure that you all are washing your hands, because now we're getting into, the lovely cold flu season, and the number one way to prevent infection is washing your hands. So my nurses in healthcare, make sure you're not having super long fingernails. And I know it sucks that we can't have fake nails or any tips or anything like that, but it is for infection control reasons. So I will see you all next week.